It is officially Monday, September 22nd, and Donald Trump is still, by far, not even close, the greatest president in modern history. Yesterday was a remarkable moment. Charlie Kirk had thousands and thousands of people pour out to remember the great work that he has done and the great work that he is still going to do through Turning Point USA. And I got to say, to be able to pull something off like that in 7 days is absolutely incredible. And all thanks to you guys for making the stream powerful. There's a lot of people that I'm sure came to Christ yesterday, not just through Charlie Kirk's stream and others, but through the work of God, using the people in that stadium to recognize that Jesus Christ is their Lord and Savior. And that's something that we hold true here on the Bald Brad Show, that Christ is King, Christ is our Savior. And I hope that all of us, after watching what has taken place and unfold, are able to be closer to God now through the scriptures, through community, and through the church. Well, we're going to jump right into the news here. Again, President Donald Trump joined hundreds of thousands of Americans in Arizona on Sunday to celebrate the life of Charlie Kirk. And I'll tell you, when I was listening to these, it was hard to not get emotional. It was hard. There were some tear jerkers. I know it was off camera, but there were some tear jerkers there for sure. And it just goes to show you what you can do in one lifetime, that really nobody's out there to stop you. That's a message that the left promulgates, that there's some nameless, faceless, shadowy figure out there that's going to hold you back, that's going to stop you from being whoever you want to be. Not really. They're there. Don't get me wrong. Those shady people are there. But most often the time in their narrative, they can never point towards who it is. It's just, well, racism or, the far right or whoever it may be. They can never actually name who it is. But it just goes to show you that nobody's really there to stop you. In some cases, they are. They're just called the progressive left. They'll just put a bullet right through your head. But that man did not stop. And it goes to show you, again, what you're able to accomplish through the power of the scriptures. That man had the scriptures written on his heart and on his mind. And estimated, get this, 200,000 patriots, 200,000 people descended on State Farm Stadium in Glendale, home of the Arizona Cardinals, for a final memorial service honoring the conservative activist. For a private citizen, drawing a crowd of that magnitude is nearly unprecedented. Check this out. It could be the largest funeral turnout since Martin Luther King Jr. back in 1968. That event drew 300,000 people. Mourners who were encouraged by Turning Point USA to wear red, white, and blue came from all over the world. And it was really a remarkable thing. I got a clip here for all of you. Check this out. I know we're here together, but look at this, huh? I'm gonna kind of mute it for those that are on audio. It's a picture of just a massive banner pointing towards Charlie, but look at this crowd. Unbelievable. To fill a stadium of 60,000. So I believe the number was told, they capped it at 70,000. I think there's a little bit more than 70,000 in the stadium. But for those on audio, you got to take a peek at your phone, your television right now, because this is an incredible, incredible sight where you have a football stadium packed with people. Patriots, conservatives, Christians, independents. There's some Democrats, I'm sure, in the crowd that have now switched over. But this is basically one of the largest church services, I think, ever recorded, by the way. If you, what they're saying is, if you take in totality everybody that watched this stream, the other biggest stream in history was it Billy Graham? I think it was his name. I always get him and his son confused. I think it had it's like 3.8 something people. I don't know if it's billion people or whatever watch. People are saying that this televised event could be the largest church service ever to be recorded. Just absolutely unbelievable. And some people are mentioning in the chat, once they capped it at 70,000, they sent everybody over to the NHL stadium. Now, to be fair, the NHL stadium wasn't even half full. There was like a couple sections in the lower bowl that filled up, but that stadium was pretty empty. But from my understanding, looking at the footage from the outside, I think a lot of people just decided to go watch it at home or leave just altogether instead of going to the stadium. I think they wanted to be here with everybody else and feel that impact. It says, "Here I am, Lord, sent me," Isaiah 6:8. So absolutely incredible. I keep saying that because that's what it was yesterday. We have some clips here where Donald Trump showed up and the place just erupts in the USA. I think some people were kind of not pushed away, kind of bothered by Donald Trump's speech because it sounded a little bit like a Trump speech, like a Trump rally mixed with like a memorial. But I'm sure that was what was communicated to him, because the speech was about Charlie Kirk, but it was also about the work that Trump was doing and to get that message out. And I'm almost like, they would not write a whole speech like that. And usually Stephen Miller's part of his speech writing team to perform something like that. So I'm pretty sure that's what they requested. There's a lot of remarks here. I just want to go to a few highlights. Deputy Chief of Staff Charlie Kirk's memorial service. "You thought you could kill Charlie Kirk. You have made him immortal." This is something that a lot of people are talking about, that his voice has been amplified. He will be the biggest organization, I believe, in the United States. And you are going to see Turning Point on pretty much every single high school campus and college campus now from here on out for a long time.
Hello, Patriots. Hello to our fearless president, Donald J. Trump. And hello to millions of Americans all across this land who are gathered in sadness and sorrow to mourn Charlie Kirk, but also to dedicate ourselves to finishing his mission and achieving victory in his name. The day that Charlie died, the angels wept, but those tears have been turned into fire in our hearts. And that fire burns with a righteous fury that our enemies cannot comprehend or understand. When I see Erika and her strength and her courage, I am reminded of a famous expression. The storm whispers to the warrior that you cannot withstand my strength. And the warrior whispers back, I am the storm. Erika is the storm. We are the storm. And our enemies cannot comprehend our strength, our determination, our resolve, our passion. Our lineage and our legacy hails back to Athens, to Rome, to Philadelphia, to Monticello.
He had a very good speech, but he was also being attacked for his speech by those on the media saying how divisive his speech was. And they keep telling us to tone down the rhetoric. Remember, the group and the people that associate with the left that assassinated a guy are going to tell a guy at his memorial to stop with what he's saying and to bring down the rhetoric. The people that are out there deleting people are telling us to turn down the rhetoric. It's really crazy. And they really don't understand what we're talking about. Let me explain what I mean by that. Is that you have to legitimately spell everything out for the left. And this is something I caught on to many years ago when I started doing this show, was when you go on social media and you say something, they are not able to do any sort of like pattern recognition or like see all the variables of what you are saying. You have to legitimately walk that path with them in your thinking and logic. And you might be saying, well, Brad, maybe you're just being unclear. No. I'll give you a prime example. I did a video yesterday, and it goes into what he's doing here. explaining what a conservative is. And then if you read the comments, oh, well, conservatism just leads to authoritarianism. It's, even though in the actual video, when you talk about that conservatives want small government and that the power to be in the hands of the people, and you're going to say that it leads to authoritarian or it is authoritarian, like these people don't actually understand. And that's what he's talking about here is the left do not understand what the light is doing or what the right is doing. Evil understands darkness, but it ain't understanding the light. And you see that here. So they're not picking up on it, what he's saying. The Democrats aren't the evil ones. I'll tell you what, the left that's out there harming journalists, wanting to remove your rights, take away your firearms, your freedom of speech, deleting you at events for speaking because they don't like what you're saying. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's evil because I don't see conservatives doing that. I don't see Republicans going out there deleting people. Yeah, I don't see it. But I've seen it throughout history with a lot of the Democrat Party, the party of the Klan, burning down people's houses, burning down crosses on people's front lawns, wanting to hang black people and white people for that matter. The party of slavery, the party of almost, get this, almost every single assassination in United States history was predominantly done by those on the left-hand side of the aisle. I think there was one guy, if I remember, I think it was one guy, I don't even know if he's a registered Republican. Everybody else has always been part of the left that have assassinated somebody. But don't worry, tone down your rhetoric, you guys. Change who you are. Sure. Well, you have Tulsi Gabbard here. I'm not going to play their full remarks, but she said, by trying to silence Charlie, his voice is now louder than ever. I mean, a lot of comparisons here made between Charlie Kirk and Christ. And I'm not saying Christ and Charlie Kirk are even close to being equivalent. But what I'm saying is they were both killed for just speaking. I mean, legitimately, both have never harmed anybody. Christ never harmed anybody. Christ never hurt anybody. He never was violent toward anybody. They just didn't like what he said. And this was also echoed during the speech as well by Tucker Carlson, where he made the comparison and people were like all up in arms about it. No. Comparisons are fine. And I think it's important to bring faith back into American life, because when you don't, well, you see what happens. Evil starts to rise. Evil starts to get worse. Pete Hegseth sees it here. Charlie Kirk was a citizen who had the biblical heart of a soldier of the faith who put on every single day the full armor of God with a smile, as the scriptures tells all Christ followers to do. Absolutely. I think that comes from Ephesians, if I remember correctly. Then you had Kennedy come out a couple of days ago. My granddaughter left for college in Europe. Her mother noticed that she packed a Bible. When her mother asked her why she made that choice, she said, "I want to live more like Charlie." I just got goosebumps saying that. I'm getting teary-eyed. The message yesterday was so powerful that even there's people of the left, with the buzzed heads and the purple hair and all that stuff, right? They just look like somebody of the left. What he had done through his message is start getting them to actually think. They're starting to question what's going on. And the thing is that they're not fully there yet. But by him being martyred, what it has done is led people to his videos and going, well, hold on a second. The guy wasn't evil. He's telling me to go to Christ. He's telling me to be a better person. He's telling me to think about these things. He wants me to have the power, not the government. Gee, it doesn't sound really that bad. Yeah, wow, take personal responsibility for your actions. And I'm telling you, they're starting to think, folks. I know it's remarkable. It's almost like we're talking about robots. They're starting to take human form. They're starting to think for themselves. They're coming sentient. But it's true. It's true. It's so funny to talk about the left like that, right? Yeah, they're starting to wake up like they're zombies. Yeah, they're starting to think for themselves. Well, JD Vance says the evil murderer who took Charlie from us expected us to have a funeral today. And instead, my friends, we had to have a revival and a celebration of Charlie Kirk and the Lord Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah. I mean, what was messed up? People were commenting that when CNN was covering this whole thing, that at the very beginning, when we started streaming it, by the way, shout out to everybody that joined us for the stream. We had over like 1,000 across all our platforms, we had like 1,000 people watching us all at once. It's pretty crazy. Excuse me. Well, CNN was not covering the Christian rock beforehand. So a lot of people were wondering, well, why is everybody streaming this right now as the event started? And mind you, the place was packed during the Christian rock music. I mean, for like hours, the whole place was packed. And they couldn't figure it out. That's because CNN was not covering it. CNN didn't want to cover the church service because God forbid, they let their viewers hear a little bit of Christianity or a little bit of truth is what I'm really trying to say. God forbid that happen. Oh, gee, terrible. We got to be so inclusive, right? Yeah. You're supposed to have like Muslims everywhere and you got to make sure you listen to their faith. But God forbid you listen to actually Christianity or some sort of Catholicism. God forbid that happen. So CNN wasn't willing to cover it yesterday. They covered the actual service itself, the memorial, the speeches, but they wouldn't cover the Christian rock. So people had to go to Fox News for that, or like a streamer such as us. Absolutely crazy. This was a powerful moment here yesterday with Erika Kirk. I'm going to play the whole thing, but here she is.
That young man. On the cross, our Savior said, "Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do." That young man, I forgive him. I forgive him because it was what Christ did and is what Charlie would do. The answer to hate is not hate. The answer we know from the gospel is love, and always love. Love for our enemies and love for those who persecute us.
I mean, it's a powerful message right there. And we've talked a lot about this on my show, that, and you guys heard me say it, we need to bring forgiveness back into this country. People struggle to forgive. Forgiveness is a massive, massive society stabilizer if we're to look at it in terms of a secular viewpoint. But when you go to a religious viewpoint, it is something that you need to have. Your brothers are going to sin, and sometimes your brothers are going to sin against you, and you have to forgive them. Now, this one's tough because obviously the sin that was committed it's truthfully no different than any other sin in terms of totality. But when you start deleting people, that is a tough thing to do. And as much as she's saying it, and I believe her, that is something you grapple with, of forgiveness, not forgiving, and going back and forth between the two. But it's something that needs to be said and something that needs to be done, because we need to bring that back into this country. You say something that somebody doesn't like, they need to be able to forgive you. Not that you said anything wrong, but they took it the wrong way, or they took it in a malicious way or whatever. That's why it is so important, because, hey, you know what? That person said something I didn't like. I forgive them. Now, even though forgiveness doesn't even need to be given there because they said nothing wrong, it's still a great secular thing to have, let alone a religious thing as well. And that's how you create calmness. By the way, when you are inside the scriptures, believe it or not, the scriptures is very logical. It's because people don't understand it. It's very messy in the sense of they don't know how to make these connections, a pattern recognition, that it seems very chaotic to them. And when you are within the scriptures, you will start becoming calmer, right? God calls for you to have patience. God calls for you to listen, not judge, but discern, to be slow to speak. So when you listen to people's words, it's those very words that you're able to distinguish between right and wrong, good from evil. Not judge people, but to be able to discern of, oh, evil's at work right now. Evil's at work. Yeah, that's not correct. It doesn't mean you attack them, doesn't mean you go after them or nothing of the sort, but it's important. Now, somebody else that said a lot of important words yesterday was Donald Trump. We're not going to play a lot, but people are kind of put off a little bit by his speech in the sense of he was mixing a memorial speech with a Trump rally speech. And I believe that this was communicated to him and his team. That's exactly what Charlie would have wanted. And that's why he portrayed it that way. So our greatest evangelist for American liberty became immortal. He's a martyr now for American freedom. I know I speak for everyone here today when I say that none of us will ever forget Charlie Kirk, and neither now will history. Well, not only that, but I mean, it's going to be a little bit tough when this whole organization will be the greatest organization in the United States, and it ain't going to stop. Erika is on fire right now with a passion to carry on her husband's legacy. And I was saying this to my wife yesterday. Sometimes it's obviously hard to grieve for a loved one that's passed, especially when it's your husband at such a young age. But I think she's going to be, I think that grieving stage is going to be relieved. And what I mean by that is that sometimes when you're grieving, it's helpful to stay busy, get your mind off things. And when you have a passion, when you have a purpose, which she does definitely, and that's to carry on not just her husband's legacy, but carry on this organization and spread the gospel throughout the United States and maybe the world here. This is the most powerful thing somebody can actually have within them, is not just the scriptures written on their heart and their mind, but now they have that burning passion to carry on a legacy of Christ and their husband. This is going to be this is going to be a strong woman, man. And I'll tell you, it's not somebody to be effed with. This woman is going to spread that organization. She's going to put her entire life and being into that organization, because the purpose ain't something that leave after something like that. When you're trying to honor somebody's legacy, somebody you love so dearly, and you saw that in the podcast, the left has no idea what they've done. And she will spend the rest of her life to destroy the ideology of the left on a level that we've never seen before. And I firmly believe that. Turning Point USA will be the greatest organization in the United States. Well, moving into more news about the media here. Let me make sure I get to it. By the way, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, folks. And shout out to Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA. Make sure you always keep that family and Charlie Kirk himself in your prayers. Division over Kirk and Kimmel. The past week saw support for Charlie Kirk pour into nationwide, even as criticism from the left and the fallout over Jimmy Kimmel's suspension persisted, events that ultimately culminated in a shooting at the ABC station. This is how psycho the left is. They start eating themselves. That's what they don't realize. And I don't know why yet, is that the left will drop you really quickly, even if you start thinking about the right, conservative, even independent. And where am I getting that from? Remember, I watch a ton of social media so you guys don't have to. And I've shown you time and time again to build that trust with you. What people are coming out and saying is, just because they started watching Charlie Kirk to see what he said, their friends have alienated them on the left. Their friends are like, well, no, we're not going to be part with you anymore. Mind you, I'm being very PG with it, PG-13. And they're starting to realize on the left that if they even question the left's ideology, they will be outcasted. And they realize that the right will still have conversations with them. That regardless of if they're on the left and Democrat, it doesn't matter. The right will still talk to you. You're a human being. I don't think anything less of you. I think you're crazy, but you know, I'm a little crazy at times myself. So I'll still talk with you. I'll still be your friend. But what have we found here when we're registered Republicans? Maybe we're conservatives. What have we found? Well, all our friends, they dropped us that are Democrats. I almost have no Democrat friends anymore. Why? Not because I don't want to be friends with them. They don't want to be friends with me. All my friends in Hollywood dropped me right when they found out that I voted for Donald Trump. What, back in 2015 or whatever? I can't even remember at this point. They all dropped me. They don't want to be friends with me. Don't even talk to me. I'll talk to them still to this day. If they ever reached out, yeah, I'll grab food with you. Love to. but that's how they are. But make sure you guys tone down the rhetoric. Make sure that you guys change. See, they don't have to change. You have to change because you're wrong. Your being is wrong. The left is more religious than any sort of other faith out there. I will always say that. The left don't even question their ideology. And if they do, they'll kick the shit out of you. Sorry to cuss, but it's true. They will delete you. At this point, the left, I'm not talking about the Democrat Party, I'm talking about the progressive left, are so violent, they will burn down your cities. As they go out and march for Black Lives Matter, they burn down black businesses. They're unhinged. They're not well. They're mentally ill. And somebody has to call it out. We'll check this out. On Friday, House Republicans proposed a resolution condemning the assassination of Kirk and honoring his life, saying he engaged in respectful civil discourse. Correct. But 118 Democrats did not support the measure. Why? Because that party has absorbed the progressive left, and the progressive left run that party now, not Democrats. How do we know that? Where's RFK? Where's Tulsi Gabbard? Where's Elon Musk? Where's Donald Trump? Oh, that's right. They are now with us because they even recognize their party is gone. Their party has been taken over. It's been hijacked by these lunatics, and they will destroy this country. You already saw glimpses of them taking over that party with Joe Biden. You think Joe Biden was running the country? You think a Democrat? Go back and listen to anybody before. You could start even at Barack Obama, right when he was running, when he was a senator of Chicago. Listen to his speeches there and before him, like Bill Clinton and others on the Democrat side of the aisle. JFK. Listen to them. Listen to them what they said about illegal immigration. Listen to Hillary Clinton. Their party's been taken over because they used to be anti-illegal immigration. They did not want that. Now, all of a sudden, now come on in and have kumbaya. The resolution was ultimately approved, but not in an in a unified way that had happened in the past. At the end of June, for example, Republicans unanimously joined Democrats. Look at this. Republicans joined Democrats in passing a similar resolution rejecting violence in the wake of the assassination of Melissa Hortman, a Democratic state representative from Minnesota. So we all have the heart to go, hey, we get that. Political violence is bad. It's negative. We're going to go ahead and join you because we unanimously joined Democrats. See, what do they do that with us? Of course not. Hypocrisy, major problem within that party. And for some ungodly reason, and I've said this for over 2 years now, I don't even know why, if you were a Democrat before, you're actually still a Democrat. Really don't get it. It actually makes more sense for you to be an independent than anything. But what do I know? AOC generally condemned political violence on the House floor. She urged Democrats to vote against the Kirk resolution. Then she turned the focus on ABC's decision to suspend late night host Jimmy Kimmel for his false remarks about Kirk's killer. Unbelievable. So she went after Charlie Kirk for whatever. Nobody really knows what the hell she's doing. She's spazoid. It's so weird. Sometimes she has it on straight and other times she doesn't. Well, here's Jasmine Crockett. Yeah, I'm subjecting you to video, Jasmine Crockett. She says, I'm using that language because it's accurate language. Here we go.
I am using that language because it is accurate language. When we see the consolidation of power, when we see them trying to chill speech of jokesters, when we're seeing all of this, that is a playbook out of Hitler, and I won't deny it. I am using that language.
It's crazy. The fact that this lady has made it into the House of Representatives shows you how far gone that whole party is, man.
Rhetoric that Charlie Kirk continuously put out there was rhetoric that specifically targeted people of color. And so it is unfortunate that even our colleagues could not see how harmful his rhetoric was specifically to us. And I can tell you that a month prior to him passing away, he had actually gotten out on his podcast. I wasn't aware of this at the time, but he got out there and he was talking negatively about me directly. So if there was any way that I was going to honor somebody who decided that they were just going to negatively talk about me and proclaim that I was somehow involved in the great white replacement, yeah, I'm not honoring that kind of stuff. The rhetoric.
Remember, you guys need to change. You have to change who you are. She doesn't have to change who she is. But remember, Charlie Kirk, according to her, attacked her because she's black, not because of the stupid things that come out of her mouth and the stupid things she does, purely because she's black. Oh, gotcha. Jasmine, come here. I know. 1 second. Patriots, if you need to take a water break, a pee-pee break, now's the time, because I need to talk to Jasmine really quick. Yeah, Jasmine, Charlie Kirk has a ton of black people in his organization. Mind you, there's a ton of black people in the crowd yesterday for his memorial. And I would also like to point out his prior communications director was Candace Owens, who allegedly was and is, from what she says, great friends with Charlie Kirk and still is advocating for him. That's weird. Why would a black person advocate for a racist? That's crazy, right? That's crazy. But according to them, that makes sense. Yeah. What they've done is they've completely destroyed what it means to be a racist. They've completely destroyed what it actually means to go against black people. And when you destroy something like that, that's when you get in very dangerous territory, because there's actual racists out there. There's actual people that hate black people roaming the streets, and that is evil. And that should always be called out. Evil will always be here until God rejoins us from the heavens onto the earth, and he takes over his planet again, his people again, however you want to refer to it again. But when you start calling people racist that aren't racist, you diminished what it means to be a racist. And at that point, there's a massive tear in our social fabric that's very hard to unite and get around. You can't unite with evil. I'm not going to unite with a racist. I'm not going to unite with a socialist. A socialist is evil. Socialism has led to massive amount of deaths in the world. But that won't stop people from voting for it. They'll still vote for it. So here you have communist Zoran Mamdani goes further than New York City sanctuary city policies. He's saying he wants to spend $100 million to provide legal aid to illegal aliens. Yeah, you heard that correctly. You want to know who also has done this? Gavin Newsom.
Our campaign is one that stands by the actual enforcement of the law as it is here in New York City, with sanctuary city policies that have kept us safe. I would also commit to increasing the staffing of our law department by 200 to bring us back to pre-COVID levels, and to ensure that when we look at this city, we are using every tool at our disposal to keep New Yorkers together, to keep families together. 400,000 of our residents are right now in urgent risk of deportation. The city knows that when it provides legal assistance to those same New Yorkers, their chances of going home increase 11-fold, and yet it has only assisted fewer than 200 of those New Yorkers. That's why also a cornerstone of our campaign is a commitment to increase funding for those very legal defense services by more than $100 million, so that we can ensure we're taking every step we can to keep New Yorkers safe, to keep New Yorkers together, and to show the world that they are welcome in this city.
There you go. Let's talk about what we're going to do for everybody else. But if you're an American, don't worry, you're going to come last in your own country. You got crime through the roof in New York. We're supposed to be excited that you guys finally got trash cans last year in 2024. They were out in the streets prancing around in excitement because New York City finally got trash cans. It sounds so ludicrous. I know it doesn't even sound like it sounds like I'm being satirical, and I'm not. They were excited. They practically held a parade because they finally got trash cans in New York City in 2024. That's how far gone that city is. Are people moving to New York City in massive droves? Are people moving to states like California in massive droves? Are people going to Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington? Like, this is where I want to be. Or are they going to places like Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Tampa, Florida, like these areas? Is that maybe where they're flocking to? Absolutely. But don't worry, $100 million for illegal immigrants. Gavin Newsom provided not just legal aid, but health care to illegal immigrants in the state of California. And then this is real, by the way. I'm not making this up. He goes, well, I can't understand why we blew out our budget. Like, I can't understand why people would take so much free health care. He couldn't fathom it because he's an idiot. And so is this guy on the screen. Now, does that mean you get to hurt Zoran Mamdani? Of course not. But if you're going to act idiotic and treat Americans as second-class citizens in their own country you could be hiring more police officers. You could be hiring things to get the homeless off the streets and offering them services. You can work with the churches more. Like, there's so many other things you could do with that money. I don't know, maybe rebuild your roads, maybe clean up your freaking subway system. I don't know. There's There's literally endless things you could do with that money. But rather than putting it back towards Americans, because it's out of Americans' wallets, by the way, you want to just give it to everybody else, the world, or to illegal immigrants, or whatever it is. You got to love it, right? Especially when we're seeing videos of actual illegal immigrants complaining that the meals that they're provided, the 3-course meals that they are provided, are frozen and they have to heat them up. All the while, we saw the video of this many of times, all the while, there's a homeless veteran, what would you guys say, like 20 feet away or less, sitting on the ground with gross clothing, asking for food and money. All the while, the illegal immigrants, nice clothing, showered, taken care of, complaining about getting meals and services. But remember, you change your rhetoric, you guys. Change who you are. You're the problem. You are all the problem. Not the Democrats, not these communists and the socialists that are now in government. I mean, who would ever thought? I mean, the founders have to be rolling in their graves knowing that Americans were willing and are willing to elect possibly a mayor who is pro-socialist. It's in the title. Well, you're slandering the guy. No, I'm not. He's a self-proclaimed socialist. It's like Bernie Sanders, self-proclaimed socialist. Oh, you just paint the guy in the wrong light. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, former Democratic Senator Joe Manchin. Why is he former? Why is he former? What happened, Joe? The Democrat Party that I know went so far left that people like myself couldn't remain identified as a Democrat. Oh, that's why. Gotcha, Joe. Joe, that makes sense. It's something we've been talking about on the show for years. It is actually not representative of who that party was in the past.
The Democratic Party that I know went so far left that people like myself couldn't remain identified as a Democrat. And you can't tell people that you're wrong if you don't believe like I do, that you spend more time worrying about people that are able-bodied, capable people of working that don't work than you do those who will work. The Democratic Party that I know.
Receipts, receipts, receipts. Sometimes there's so many receipts, it's impossible to keep bringing them up because you'd have to, my computer would explode. I can't have that many tabs open, but you guys have been with me long enough for years to know that I ain't here to BS your blow smoke up your you-know-what like the Democrats are. So Joe Manchin goes on, and Democrats refuting President Trump's help on crime and securing the border. If I was crime rate in my state, I'd welcome all the help I can get. Of course you would. Of course, because any sane person would ask for help. Hey, they're destroying my neighborhood that I grew up in my entire life, multi-generational neighborhood. Can you come in and maybe help us? No, don't worry. I'll still vote for you. Thinking caps on, Democrats. Thinking caps.
Crime-ridden in my state, if I had a crime-ridden, I'd welcome all the help I could get. Don't leave me in the lurk. Now, they're going to leave sooner or later. Am I going to go back to where I was? Mm-hmm. Are you going to help me finance this? People want a crime-free area in this, and they want also secured borders. The Democrats should be saying, Mr. President, we made a mistake. We'll work with you on securing the border. Will you work with us on legal immigration? We need legal immigration for this country to continue to be the world power, the economic juggernaut of the world. And also, it's the right thing to do. My ancestors came here that way. Mm-hmm. It was crime-ridden.
You could tell that he starts getting a little squirmy and a little uncomfortable whenever he says something that goes against the Democrat Party's platform, like asking for help. Yeah, securing the border so you don't allow terrorists in this country. All those things. Man, that party is so far gone that when you just start talking obvious talking points of, hey, maybe don't burn down a city. Gee, maybe don't go delete other people with firearms or knives or whatever it is. Hey, maybe keep the fathers in the household. Whenever you say like, hey, maintain the nuclear family. Oh my God, how could he say that? Oh, what a bigot. What a racist. Take personal responsibility for my actions. Are you crazy? Oh, like, come on, man. This is where we're at. And this is why I struggle so much talking to people on the left, is because you can't have common sense with them. Everything you will say, even if it is good, they will find a way to victimize themselves off of what you are saying, or they will try to flip the script and change whatever you are saying to make it something negative. Like, what's an example? Absolutely, because you always have to get right. You have to connect the dots for these people. I'm not connecting the dots for you, patriots. You freaking get it. I'm preaching to the choir here. What's an example? policing. Get the police out there to stop the crime. Oh, well, that's going to hinder black people. You're just going to be targeting black people. Nobody said that. Literally nobody said it. You said that. I didn't say that. For all I know, it could end up disproportionately affecting white people. If you're committing crime, guess what? I don't care about your skin. Stop committing crime. If you don't want the cops to pull you over, if you don't want the cops to arrest you, maybe don't break the law and commit the crime. That's a good idea. But it's odd because they always have to twist it and construe it. Oh, you're racist. Now they're just going to go after black people. I never even said that. I just said you need to have more police. If that's the result of something, maybe more black people are just committing more crime than other people. Or maybe it's just predominantly a black neighborhood. So if police were to go into a predominantly white neighborhood, I would expect that most white people will be arrested or cited because it's predominantly a white neighborhood. That's how things work. Yeah, it's how things work. Gosh. I don't, but that's what they'll do. That's why there's almost no point in talking to them because they're not able to fathom what you're saying. And when you do say something that's obvious, you're demonized for it. Absolutely bonkers. Well, if you're enjoying what you're hearing, please hit the like and subscribe button. We're not going anywhere, but we do this each and every morning, Monday through Friday, weekdays on the Bald Brad Show, where we break down the news, give you conservative thought and ideas, and hopefully the hope is that will spread out there to more and more people. We also have a book called Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America. You pick up yourself a copy at baldbrad.com. Links will be in the chat. It's a great book. It's a timely book. Again, it's Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America. It takes you through the metaphor of the Greeks sending in the Trojan horse and destroying the great city of Troy. And what it does is it takes the ideology of the left that's presently here in the United States, that's now destroying the greatest country that's ever existed from the inside out. It is a great book. It's a timely book. It's going to take you through Antifa, their movement, COVID-19, racism, fascism. It takes you through abortion, critical race theory. I take you through where socialism came from and how it's connected to the fascist of today. Again, this is a very educational book. You're going to enjoy it, and it absolutely destroys the arguments of the left. It's a wake-up call, and I think you guys will enjoy that. So if you get that at baldbrad.com, you click on the link, it'll take you to Amazon, Barnes & Noble. It is on sale right now, and a great gift idea for a fellow patriot of yours that's even a friend or family member. And by the way, it's a great gift for a Democrat as well. Maybe it'll wake them up after what Charlie Kirk has done over the past, 31, so past 12 years. Again, a lot of movement happening here. So we have this, and like I said, this is going to be taking place. You have Dr. Young Hoon Kim vows worldwide church plants to honor slain Charlie Kirk. So Charlie Kirk's movement is not just going to spread conservatism throughout the United States, but now his work is going to spread global in terms of spreading Christianity and the word of truth. So Dr. Young Hoon Kim, a South Korean cognitive scientist and CEO of NeuroStory, announced September 21st his pledge to establish churches globally as a tribute to conservative activist Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated on September 10th, not 11th, at a Turning Point USA in Utah by shooter Tyler Robinson. Now, to be fair, South Korea has a ton of churches. South Korea has a massive Christianity boom. So more churches, the better. But I know in South Korea, they have a massive movement already with church plants and Christianity in that nation. So very much a Christian nation now, and it's only growing there in South Korea. Many people don't realize that. If you go to South Korea, I've never been there, but if you look at pictures, there's like crosses just everywhere at night lighting up the sky. Just tons and tons of churches, small churches, big churches. So big movement over there on the coast. Well, getting into more news here, like I said, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It does help support the show. We are a conservative podcast. Yup Patel is answering assassination questions coming up here. So FBI Director Kash Patel said Sunday that the FBI would address all the public's lingering questions about the recent assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk when appropriate. In an update, Patel said that the investigation into Kirk's killing was ongoing and that his agency was still exploring multiple theories about the killing. I believe they're trying to connect the dots to see if there's other organizations out there that were working in conjunction with Tyler Robinson. It says here in an X post, as director of FBI, I'm committed to ensuring the investigation into Charlie Kirk's assassination is thorough and exhaustive, pursuing every lead to its conclusion. The full weight of America's law enforcement agencies are actively following the evidence that has emerged, but our efforts extend beyond initial findings. We are examining every facet of this assassination. I love that they're going above and beyond what it seems like and seeing and connecting all those dots. Were there other organizations working with this guy? Why was the text messages so weird? What was going on? By the way, I still want to point out, we still know nothing about Donald Trump's assassination in Butler, Pennsylvania. Folks, we barely know anything about the guy that shot up to Las Vegas years ago, that deleted like almost 60 people and injured like hundreds of other ones. Y'all remember the Las Vegas shooting? I was just in Las Vegas this other weekend, and I walked past that area right where it happened, and I was looking at the hotel, and I was like, it popped in my mind. I'm like, wait a minute, we don't even know anything about this guy, really. We know nothing about nothing. It's a remark. It's almost odd, right? And you hate to be conspiratorial, but how is it we know nothing about any of these assassination attempts? Even the guy, the Ukrainian supporter guy. Remember when Donald Trump was on like the fifth hole golfing or whatever, and that guy was poking through the bushes with his firearm, and he had the plates lined up on the fence to protect himself? We know nothing really about that guy. We know a little bit. We know a teensy bit. But other than that, we know nothing. Like, we're supposed to, like, I mean, again, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are supposed to be one of us, man. Of like, hey, let's get all the information out there to people. We don't know nothing. I told you, folks, everybody knows my date. I give it till halfway through the thing. I give 2 years of grace. After 2 years, if I'm not getting nothing, I'm going to start pushing back hard. Okay? I want answers. I want answers on all these assassination attempts. I want answers regarding what the hell's going on with the Epstein files. I want all that stuff. And if I don't get it, yeah, I'm going to start pushing back. And I told you I was going to do that. That's nothing new. Everybody knows that I voted for Trump 3 times. It doesn't mean that I have to agree with everything the guy does. That's silly. Why would somebody agree with literally everything somebody does? You would be the same person then, and you're not. Well, the left is losing it. And now they're even going after their own. So shots fired at ABC affiliate. Literally a guy, I think it's a guy or gal, shows up and shoots at an ABC affiliate building. Like, actually shoots a gun at it. A man has been arrested after firing multiple shots at a window of an ABC News affiliate in Sacramento, California. Oh, the guy, it's right wing. They need to tone down the rhetoric. They need to change themselves. Not this guy. No, this guy doesn't have to change himself. Why? Because it's part of the left. Yeah, no, this guy was a MAGA supporter, you guys. Yeah, let's flip the narrative. Totally sane guy. Nothing wrong with him. He's a good guy. He's like the Maryland man. He's a good guy. Goes to church every year. Yeah, he's a chaperone. He'll guide you to your seat before your church service. Great guy. Good guy. So following the network's decision to pull late night host Jimmy Kimmel after he lied about the assassination of 31-year-old Charlie Kirk, we are now at the point that if you remove a failing late night show host, you will now be deleted by the left. But don't worry, change your rhetoric, you guys. Change who you are. I posted this picture here. Where is it? This is Jimmy Kimmel's live decline. He peaked in 2013. He peaked in 2013. Every year, he has gotten worse and worse in terms of his Nelson ratings between the 18 to 49 rating track. Every year he's gotten worse, meaning he's losing money, hand over fist. Gee, it sounds like Colbert, right? So now, even if you remove one of them, kind of like Disney did with Gina Carano, by the way, even if you remove one of them, they will go delete you. That's how insane this, but remember, we're supposed to unite. We're supposed to come together, change your rhetoric. So there's nothing you could do. Basically, you just have to shut your mouth and follow their lead. And if you don't, they will literally kill you, is where we're at now. And I'm not playing. You all know I'm right. You all know I'm right. I'm just not the one that's going to sugarcoat this shit. If you don't follow in step with the left, if you don't do what they say, if you don't believe in what they believe, they will kill you at this point. And you all know I am right because we've seen it time and time again, especially through that entire party's history. I understand the Democrats aren't the ones doing it. It's the progressive left within that party that's doing it. I don't know how much more proof you need. And I posted it here. The difference between our side and their side. Where is it? This is the difference.
This is what we do. Everybody out.
hold church services when somebody gets assassinated. When a criminal gets deleted, by the way, whether you agree with it or not, bad thing. Just want to point out, terrible. That just because the guy was doing what he's doing doesn't give you a right to like kill him. Now, he had a lot of drugs in his system. We don't need to play that whole thing out again. But they'll go burn down your cities, billions with a B, dollars in damages. No big deal. No big deal. Here's another picture, right? Oh, and then here's us. Here's conservatives, Republicans. Here's the Democrat Party. Conservatives, Republicans, Democrat Party. Now, what they will do is they will show us January 6th. So they got one thing to show us, one thing in our entire party's history. All the while, we can go through the Democrat Party's history. The reason why they don't want to do that is because they know that their party has always, since legitimately its inception, has been a violent party. They were the party of slavery, but they don't want to teach that in school, right? Because they don't teach the Republican North versus the Democratic South. They don't teach it in terms of party lines. God, because the ones that are teaching are Democrats, right? Because then now they have to realize, oh, wait, that was my party. Shit. Oh, God. Oh, right. And then they realize that the people they're trying to indoctrinate would wake up to that and go, wait a minute. The Democrat Party, are my parents Democrats? I think I'm a Democrat. I like them. Wait, we're the party of slavery? They don't teach it that way. That's why in the school system, they teach the North versus the South. They don't go really into detail. Oh, who were the Republicans? Who were the Democrats? What did the Republicans believe? What did the Democrats believe? Was there really a big switch? And if there was, when did that happen? How did it happen? Because they don't even know history themselves. Party of slavery, party of the Klan, party of anti-civil rights. And yes, I'll say it again. If it wasn't for Republicans, there would be no civil rights. The Republicans had the majority. The Republicans are what enabled civil rights to happen. It was the Republicans that fought for freedom during the Civil War. It was the Republicans that did that. Okay. It was also the Republicans that went against the Jim Crow laws, all that stuff. The Democrats wanted Jim Crow laws. The Democrats wanted slavery. The Democrats wanted to oppress black people. The Democrats did all those things. Democrats are the ones that assassinated most people in American history. The Democrats are the ones that are now deleting people. Mostly it's the progressive left that have been absorbed by that party. But you point to January 6th, out of the totality of this entire country's history, you have one event where one person was shot and was actually somebody going in. 40,000 hours, and you had to show us the same 6 minutes for like 4 years straight. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Millions of dollars in damages versus over $2 billion just in property damage alone. 25 Americans were killed. 200 federal buildings damaged. You had over 2,000 police officers injured. But you're going to tell me that January 6th was comparable. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Remember, reality here, not reality over there. And they'll go, whoa, you guys don't deal in reality. No, we do. We do. See, the party of the left, that ideology, see, they think a man can become a woman. But don't worry, you guys don't deal in reality. Yeah, you're crazy. Yeah, all of us, we're lunatics according to the left. Because we think that you can't transition, you can't transform into something, you can't shapeshift. You know, like we saw in the X-Files with Mulder and Scully. Yeah. Oh, if you don't think somebody can shapeshift and start growing a peepee, you got to reevaluate yourself. Yeah, because that's possible. Just a question. Let's just go. I mean, it's a very anecdotal one. We got hundreds of people watching at this point right now. Let me know in the chat, and this is strictly for the ladies. Gentlemen, if you need to take a poop break or something, right there for you. Ladies, have anybody ever grown a wee-wee? Have you guys in your lifetime ever looked down, you pulled down your pants one day, and you just had a peepee hanging down there with testes and everything? Has that happened to anybody in here? I'm curious because I'm being told that that's possible. You could transition. And you woke up, you were well, some of you woke up, you've always been flat chested, but we're not going there with that. Has anybody woken up and you look down and go, what is that? It's just swaying back and forth, right? Like a horse. Anybody? I'm curious. That's what I'm told. So we might as well ask the ladies in here. Just curious. It's a simple test. Might as well ask. Because I'm supposedly not dealing with reality, and I'm a lunatic, according to the left. So let's ask. A lot of everybody's saying, no, weird. Really? Not a single one of you. Not a single one of you. I see you, Mizzy. I get what you're saying. That's funny. Huh. I don't know, unbelievable. Not one, huh? Really? I've been told it's common. Yeah, really. I mean, I live in LA. I mean, I'm seeing it all the time. Huh, weird. Crazy. Well, if it happens to anybody in here, make sure you toss me an email. I heard it's pretty common, so I'll be looking out for that email. Don't send me pictures. I do not want pictures. But again, where the site goes, where the crazies. All righty. We will end it there. We ended at 7 a.m. sharp because I work 3 jobs. Yes, this is not my full-time job. This is a hobby, but we do take donations because it's my hobby. And, we work hard here. So if you head to baldbrad.com and you head to the donations tab, you do not have to do this. Please don't feel like I'm like begging you. This is just for those that feel like they're getting something out of the show and want to support a conservative, just like people support Turning Point USA. You can do a one-time donation. You can do a custom amount. So if you want to do $1, 97%, meaning I would get 97 cents of the dollar, go to me. And you do a weekly donation. A lot of you have left YouTube altogether. Thank you, by the way, for doing that. And have started doing this. So most of the YouTube donations either come from here now, or you guys moved your subscription over to Rumble, which actually makes sense. So I just want to be clear. If you had a subscription or membership over at YouTube, move it over to Rumble, because not only does Rumble take less of a cut, I think they take like 20%, where I think like YouTube's a 30%, but you also get our Dark MAGA podcast every Tuesday, Thursday evenings. And we go spicy, man. Like, we got to keep it a little bit tame here for a regular morning audience. But once we hit the evening, we sometimes, where is it at? We sometimes put on the MAGA hat and we get a little spicy in the chat, man. It gets a little crazy, and we would love for you to join us. Well, with that being said, check out the book Trojan Horse, How the Left Destroyed America. You go to baldbrad.com. We also have a bunch of merchandise. You get yourself a mug. Like, Brad, how do I get that cool, dope mug that you use? Oh, there's coffee stain on it. I'm sorry. At least you know I really drink coffee out of it. Look at the inside of that. Oh, God. Look at Jesus. Clean your mug, Brad. I think I drink it thick. I'm tapped. Anyways, we do a different show here. Wow, thank you, Drag. Gifted 1 subscription to the Bald Brad Show. Thank you. Appreciate it. God bless you. Hopefully somebody grabs it up. Thank you to everybody that donates. Thank you for always hanging out here. We have the best community. So if you're new here, let us know in the chat. If you're new, let us know in the comment section. Always hang out with us. Like, Amy, good to see you. Appreciate you. That has never happened. Are you sure, Amy? You sure? I love teasing. Again, I love this. I got to go. I'm going to be late for work. I love you guys. I want to just hang out with you longer. Electric Lemon says, I've grown not just a peepee, but a whole baby boy. Damn. Yeah, well, that's possible. That's what Mizzy was saying. I mean, technically, any woman that's birthed a boy has grown a peepee. So I suppose you're right. Maybe we can become Transformers. I love you guys. All righty, we'll be back here tomorrow, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then we'll also be doing Dark MAGA tomorrow as well at 4 p.m. So we got 2 podcasts happening tomorrow. Be there or be square. With that being said, God bless you, patriots. Take care of yourself. Pray for this country. Pray for Donald Trump. Pray for Charlie Kirk and his family. And pray that we can have peace here in the United States and not political violence. God bless you.